Welcome again to our virtual community conference. This has become a tradition for ImproveCareNow. We do meet as a community twice a year in person with our care centers and their parent and patient partners. So recognizing that not everybody is able to join every time, we decided to bring some of the highlights and some related information to a broader community on these virtual community conferences. I think this is our fourth virtual community conference, and I'm really excited because the content is a little bit different this time. We're testing some different things. It's shorter. We had tried some 4-hour format, and now we're trying this shorter format to see how it works for folks. So you are part of a test of a different way to get this great content to you, and I'm so excited to have all of our speakers on the call share their information with you. I, though, want to introduce myself quickly for those who just joined. So I'm Sarah Myers. I'm the Executive Improvement Director for ImproveCareNow, and you will be hearing very little from me because luckily you'll be hearing from a lot of folks from across the community. I'm just going to be introducing things. A few quick reminders again. We do have you on mute, but just in case folks would get unmuted, try not to use the hold feature on your phone. We sometimes end up with some interesting elevator type music if folks are on hold and they get unmuted. If you have not already shared in the chat box your name and your care center and what your role is at your care center, if applicable, certainly we have some folks here that might not be at ImproveCareNow centers yet, which is fine. Go ahead and type that in the chat box so we can get to know who all we have. And this is just a reminder too that we do record these calls, and we also will be sharing, quotes and some gems from the call on social media. Related to that, and I'm going to go back to the agenda in just a second. For those of you who are on Twitter, we have a pretty active presence on Twitter during these calls and at other times, but I just want to let you know quickly that the hashtag is ICNVCC, so I hope to see many of you there. I'm not going to walk through the agenda in a lot of detail right now, other than to show you that we have divided the call into a couple of different sections. One, introducing some really neat ImproveCareNow resources and ways you can connect with the community. One with a focus on research. One with a focus on patients and parents and all of the amazing things they're doing in ImproveCareNow to contribute to our community. And then one really focused on the backbone of what we do in ImproveCareNow, quality improvement. So we'll be teaching about quality improvement for parents and patients. Many of the names I'm seeing on the call are also excellent quality improvement teachers. So it will be a refresher for some of you. I am very quickly going to turn it over to Dick Colletti, who is our Executive Network Director, and he's going to just give a quick introduction to ImproveCareNow for those who may be new. But before I do that, it's very important to us that we are accomplishing something during these calls other than just getting a bunch of folks together. So we do hope that your knowledge and awareness of ImproveCareNow will increase. We hope you'll be able to describe opportunities to get involved in this community. There are so many ways to get involved that you'll hear about, and we hope you will specifically find at least one thing with which you might actually like to get involved if you're not already. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Colletti, and I will advance your slides as you tell me to.
All righty. Thanks, Sarah. So here's Dick. Well, here's a map graphic of ImproveCareNow. We've got over 100 sites, including 98 in the U.S. and some abroad. And it's very exciting how we've grown in the last decade. Next slide. And our mission is pretty dramatic. All we want to do is transform the health and care and costs for all kids with Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis by building a sustainable, collaborative chronic care network, enabling patients, families, clinicians, and researchers to work together in a learning healthcare system and to accelerate innovation, discovery, and the application of new knowledge. And that's what we work on every day. That is our why. That's why we're doing this, and it's probably why you're on this as well. And a learning healthcare system is the term that was developed by the Institute of Medicine. It's a learning healthcare system is patients and providers working together to choose the best care based on best evidence, where research is a natural outgrowth of patient care, and where we ensure innovation, quality, and all this is done in real time. Next, please. And we do a lot of things. The most important thing we do is improve, try to improve. We use improvement science, the model for improvement, as the foundation for all of our work. Next, please. We also, we connect, we engage, we are a community, we collaborate from the Patient Advisory Council, the Parent Working Group. We communicate, we have a listserv, a blog, and a digest, and we're continuously in touch with each other. Next, please. And we believe that we're all in this together. We're all working to improve care. Next. When we started, this is a picture of us in 2007. There were 28 of us at our first community conference, and that number has increased tenfold since then. Next slide. And there's a picture that was taken at a recent community conference, so we certainly have grown. A lot of nice, happy, smiling, hardworking, collaborating folks. That's our big part. That's our community, the ones who can get together at the conference. Next, please. And this shows how we have grown from 8 centers originally to 109 and 950 pediatric gastroenterologists, 30,000 patients, more than half the kids in the U.S. being cared for by pediatric gastroenterologists, and we want to get even bigger so we can provide this kind of care to all kids with IBD. Next, please. And as a result of our work, more kids are in remission, which means that they're happier, they feel better, they're able to do things that they want to do. Next. And this shows how we measure that. This is a clinical remission rate, and back in April of 2007, you can see it was around 50 to 55%. And over the years, it has grown. And most recently, 82% of the kids were in clinical remission in July 2018. So this is a testament to the success of all of our working together. Next, please. And we also have, I think Chris Keck probably takes over from here. Thanks for the opportunity to say hello.
Absolutely, and we are going to turn it over to Chris Keck and Shellie Doub. Chris is our engagement director for ImproveCareNow, and Shellie is a parent who is going to talk about why she is part of this community.
Hey everybody, so thank you for joining. Talk a little bit about the engagement campaign. We're working to use those same, to apply those same principles of quality improvement to helping for more parents and patients to be able to get involved and take ownership of their care. And that means raising awareness, creating community, getting involved locally, and getting involved nationally. Next slide. And these are some of the things we've done in the past year, but what we're really excited about is looking forward and what we're going to do in the next year. And we're going to talk about some of those things tonight. We have started a community engagement learning series. Over the summer, we had more than 150 people attend. Most of those trainings were developed and presented by patients, parents, and staff at care centers. And we've been testing ways to let people know about the network and get people involved so they can connect with other parents and patients nationally. More than 300 new parents and patients have become involved with their local teams because of those tests that we've run. And over the next year, we're hopeful that we can find more centers who are willing to test those things and get more people involved locally too. Next slide. And I want to pass it over to Shellie if we can see, who is here in Dayton with me, and they're one of the teams that's been doing this testing. So Shellie, take it away.
Good evening, everyone. You can't see the entire room, but there are about 15 of us here tonight. That means we've nearly doubled the size of our watch party since our first watch party back in June, so we're really excited about that. I wanted to share with you a little bit about my journey, my family's journey with inflammatory bowel disease and how I became involved with ICN. I'm a mom of 5 sons, and 2 of them have inflammatory bowel disease. One has ulcerative colitis, and the other has Crohn's disease. I'm the co-lead for Dayton Children's Parent Family Advisory Council, and I'm also an employee here at Dayton Children's, helping lead the patient experience movement in our hospital. What that means is that I get families from all across the hospital involved in initiatives like ImproveCareNow, where we bring families to the table and co-produce quality improvement measures and let them give us advice on how we can improve the way we care for kids at our hospital. Our family's journey with IBD started in 2000, which was a long time ago, according to my kids. My son Ian was 6 years old when he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And when he was diagnosed, we had never heard of Crohn's disease. We didn't know anyone who had Crohn's disease, and we lived far away from our family and friends because my husband was in the Air Force, so we really didn't have a support system. 2 years later, we had moved to another city, and his younger brother, who was then 4, was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. Over the years, they tried and failed pretty much every therapy that is out there. We burned through 5 ASAs and immunomodulators and biologics, one after another. At one point, it was recommended that they both have a colectomy, and at that point, we sought a second opinion, and then we tried some more experimental therapies, some natural therapies, lots of things over the years. They've had pretty much every complication of their Crohn's that you can think of, or of their inflammatory bowel disease. Everything from skin issues to anxiety, depression, fistulas, you name it, we burned through all of them. Today, however, they are 20 years old and 24 years old, and they're both doing great. Their disease is quiet, and we're really thankful for that. So tonight, what I want to talk to you about is not just their journey and all the medications, which many of you are already perhaps going through or assisting families through. I want to talk about my journey as a parent and how I became involved in these improvement measures, like ICN. So in 2005, my sons were being seen at a care center in Cincinnati, and I joined the Parent Family Advisory Council there. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had never been on a committee. I had never spoken in public. I really didn't know what skills I had to bring to the table, but I knew I wanted to be part of something that would make life better for these kids. And so together in the first few years of that advisory council, we developed a family education day that is still going strong in Cincinnati, and I think serves well over 200 patients and families per year. We also developed a new patient orientation. We did some mentoring, and I was invited to go to Atlanta to a little group called the Trailblazers, which Dick Colletti showed a picture of on the screen earlier. That was before ICN became ICN, and I was invited to come and speak. I think I mostly spoke that day about what it was like to have kids who got all of their nutrition via an NG tube, and my 2 boys would sit together and pass their NG tubes together at 8 o'clock at night and do their feeds overnight and then pull their NG tubes out in the morning because they didn't want anyone to see them with their tubes. And I was really nervous about speaking. I had sworn I would never speak in public, but I went and I did that, and it was a great experience. Fast forward a little bit, and just because of life circumstances, I stepped away from working in that care center's advisory team, and I started volunteering for CCFA, which is now the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, and they've taken the AOA. I helped run fundraisers. I participated in the Take Steps Walk, and my husband and I ran a half marathon with them. And again, life happens, and when your kids are chronically ill, you have this ebb and flow of when you are able to participate and be involved in things and when you can't. So I stepped away for a bit again, and then I returned in 2017 when I joined the Dayton Children's Hospital team as part of the Patient Experience Department. And through that, I was able to revitalize the IBD Family Advisory Council here, along with some others. And this spring, this fall, I was able to return to the ICN Community Conference and see how much it has grown since 10 years ago when I went to that very first one. It was exciting to see that, and I was really thrilled that our center was awarded a grant from ICN to develop a tool that will help families who are making decisions about whether or not their child should have an ostomy. When we started this journey, all I could see was how difficult it was going to be. What I didn't know was how much being involved with the community of people in inflammatory bowel disease would help me grow, not only as a person, but as a volunteer and professionally. And so I just want to say to all of you tonight, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever skills you have or think you don't have, there's a place for your voice at the table. And Improve Care Now has opportunities for you to get involved and to make a difference for your family and for kids everywhere who have inflammatory bowel disease. Thank you.